finally it's happening. The vappers, the vibe yappers are being exposed on TikTok for the frauds that they are. A lot of people want to put me in the same category as these guys. The people that come on this platform and make videos every day where they just sit in front of the camera and they yap about life. They're basically the modern day philosopher, right? The problem is that a lot of these guys are faking it. And I've been saying this for the last few months, that there's a lot of people that are on this platform and they don't really live that life. Whether it be in the positive direction or the negative direction, they're pretending, they're LARPing. And finally, TikTok has caught on and called them out on their bullshit. And I had to jump on here and make a video about this topic because I think that I'm also in that same niche, except that I'm not faking it. The first thing is, you might be asking yourself, why is it that there's been this change on the platform from the highly edited videos, high retention editing, to this more slow pace, calm, thoughtful commentary, one cut, one take videos? But it's because of authenticity. Over the last few years, YouTube has lost its authenticity. What we're doing right now, these videos that are a little slower paced, it was what the original content creators on this platform used to do. This is not something new. There have always been content creators that just came on and spoke their mind on whatever was happening in the news or in their life. But since there's been so many fake creators on here that were overdoing the retention editing, the public has shifted their perspective and now they want more people coming back to this slower pace. And that's fine. There's no problem with that. I don't think that simply making a video that's slower pace with no editing makes you a vapper though. The vappers, the vibe yappers, are the people that come on here and they talk about their life experiences and their perspective on different things. And what they're getting called out on right now is the fact that a lot of these people that come on here and talk about these topics, they're not experiencing the things that they're talking about and they haven't lived that life. And I think that's where I come in, right? I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I normally do in my videos. This video is not going to be in that niche per se. I am going to be doing a little bit of editing and showing you guys a few different content creators that I believe are in this niche. I also took some notes, something that I normally don't do, because I really want to break this down in a way that's going to be a little bit more palpable for the people that don't know what's going on. The first thing I want to clarify is that what makes you a vapper, a vibe yapper, is not the fact that you don't edit your videos. It's not the fact that your videos are taken in one take. It's not the fact that you're talking directly to the camera about a topic or life. It's when you're talking about your life in particular, your experiences in particular, what you've seen with your own two eyes and what you truly believe in your heart. And the problem is that a lot of these guys really are LARPing. I think that what qualifies you as a LARPer, I wrote this down. You're not really being authentic. You're not being affected by the topic that you're talking about. And you pick the topic simply for engagement. In other words, you make a video about being an incel when you're not an incel. You make a video about being unemployed when you're not unemployed. You make a video about how there's no jobs when you're not experiencing that. You make a video that's way outside of the scope of your everyday life. And you talk about this topic confidently, even though you're not experiencing it at all. And this is where a lot of these LARPers fit in. They come on here and they start talking about depression. I'm depressed, guys. Life sucks. Life is dark. There's no hope. And then they cut off the camera. They go call up their friends. They hit the club. They crack a few shorties. And they come back the next day to make another video about the same topic about being an incel. But in reality, they're just faking it. They're pretending. They're sympathy farming to get you to subscribe to their channel so they can make ad revenue. And eventually build a personal brand and eventually sell you some bullshit product. It's always the same cycle. Number two is when they have literally no life experience. So a lot of these guys and girls, I have a few examples, love to talk about things that they have no life experience in. divorce and how divorce affects men or women, dating, being an incel, being chopped, being unemployed, being bullied, having a kid, all of these different topics, right? But they've never experienced those topics at all. They're basically armchair commentators. They've never experienced it. They don't know what they're talking about. They only make a video on that topic because they want to get ad revenue. They want to get eyeballs on the video. They're literally playing the algorithm game. The only reason they've grabbed this format instead of the high retention editing format is because they're lazy and they probably don't want to edit videos. Other than that, there's nothing that separates them from the other LARPers and grifters and scammers that we have in abundance on this platform. Sure, they might misspeak and they don't cut out the edit. Sure, they might misspeak and they don't cut out the errors. Sure, they might misspeak and continue power through it like an authentic creator, but in reality, the underlying motivation for them making the content is money. It's monetary. It's not because they want to help you. It's not because they're venting to their community. It's not because this is some sort of journal that they've created. They're simply doing it to get ranked in the algorithm. Number 3 is simply presenting the problem with no solution. There's a few of these content creators, Jett Franzen, for example, who only presents the problems. He doesn't present you any solutions. The same thing with The Way of Cam. The same thing with Hex Speaks. All they do is present to you the problem, why it sucks, why you have no hope, why you're not going to be able to get a girlfriend, why you're going to be unemployed. But they never tell you how to become employed. They never tell you how to get a girlfriend. They never tell you how to not be lonely, how to fight depression. They never tell you how to improve. They only tell you how to be worse because their algorithm is based on you having a miserable life. They succeed when you fail. So they're not rooting for you to succeed. They're rooting for you to fail. That's the purpose of their content, to drag you down so that they can elevate themselves above you. Right now, they're selling themselves to you, but in the future, I guarantee they'll pivot and sell you a product, some sort of course, some sort of mentorship. There's always a catch. Number 4 is when they're lying, exaggerating, or making up stories that they think you'll identify with. Oh, yesterday, my boss walked into the room when I was working in the Amazon warehouse in 90-degree weather. I was sweating my balls off, and he yelled at me. He said I had to work faster. And then he passed me a Gatorade bottle and said that if I need to use the bathroom, I need to use it in that bottle. Man, I hate this job, man. The rat race is killing us. Come to find out, they don't work at all because they're making these videos and that's what they do for a living. The whole story was fabricated because they imagined your life and they tried to put themselves in your shoe so that you watch the video and you get hooked and you think this guy is just like me. There I am. That could be me. I identify with this person. I resonate with what he's saying. Let me give him the subscription. Let me buy his product. Oh, he has a course? Oh, he escaped the rat race? Let me buy the course. It's all a trick built on lies. Number 5 is spreading doom, hopelessness, negativity, again, with no solution. If you really sit back and notice, these guys never present you the happy path. They never come on here with a great story about how they succeeded in life, how you should never give up, how there's hope. It's always the opposite. It's always a story that's going to leave you drained, depressed, sad, worrying, with anxiety, because they need you to stay in that loop. If you escape the loop, if you become the next big guy, if you escape the loop, if you become successful, if you're able to find out who you are as a person, your passions, they lose. A guy like me, successful, earning 6 figures, driving supercars, with a girlfriend, with kid. I'm not going to watch Jett Franzen. I'm not going to watch Hex Speaks. I'm not going to watch The Way of Cam. Why would I watch their content? They need you to be below them, struggling, depressed, and sad. That's the only way they can get a view. You think Jett Franzen is an incel? Look at the guy. No homo, but he's a normal looking guy. He's literally incel maxing. And the craziest part about it is other people that are depressed and sad for real, who are really going through the ringer, will see a guy like this and they'll consume all of his content and it will reinforce their negative mindset. And in fact, it will actually make them double down. They'll say, if he's struggling and he's a normal, attractive looking guy, there's no hope for me. I might as well give up. These guys are doing untold damage in the minds of the youth. They're destroying the culture and it's inauthentic. That's the worst part about it. It's a mind virus. It really, truly is. There's a few people, a few channels I pulled up that I want to show you guys. The first one, the main guy, even though there's been other guys that have followed this path before him, but he's the principal guy that people think about when they think about this doomer, pathetic, sad, lonely, incel content, is Jett Franzen. When you look at his titles, you'll see that it's all negativity. I've lived more in my head than I've lived in real life. You aren't crazy. Something isn't right with people nowadays. Trying to get a job in 2026 is a humiliation ritual. Only a slave qualifies its existence through productivity. All of these videos are extremely negative. They're not going to motivate you to go out and do something. They're not going to motivate you to grow as a person. They're not going to motivate you to find yourself. They're not going to motivate you to follow your passions. They're not going to motivate you towards success. These are doomer videos. Their main purpose is to drag you down, to make you feel bad about life, sad, depressed, a victim, and to keep you in the victim slave mindset. And he's not the only one. We can go to another one like The Way of Cam. The Way of Cam is following the same format. Existing as a man in 2026 is a sick joke. Working at a warehouse made me realize relationships are cooked. Gen Z might be the first homeless generation. Working at Amazon made me realize dating is cooked. Society has fucked Gen Z. 50% of Gen Z still live with their parents. We're fucked. Stay unemployed. Fuck getting a job. I watched my girl hook up with another man for 54 minutes. Here's what I learned about women. If you go through this video catalog, you'll see that every single video follows the same theme. That you're gonna be a loser, there's no way out, relationships don't mean anything, and that you're cooked. Another one of these guys, Jett Franzen. Jett Franzen, honestly, he's the person who made me even realize that people were finally getting exposed for being LARPers. But the truth is that even he is kind of LARPing. I have a 50-50 opinion of his channel. Because there are some videos that are okay, but there's a lot of them that are just negative. I don't know how everyone just accepts this life. People don't like quiet black men. My generation became unemployable. A relationship isn't going to make you happy. People don't like bubbly black girls. The problem with his videos, I would say that he kind of sits on the fence, right? So under the guidelines that I set in the beginning of the video, I would have to classify Jett Franzen as a grifter, a LARPer. He doesn't provide you with any solutions, only the problem. What is the purpose of making a video where the solution is not presented? Only the problem is presented, only negativity. And there's plenty of other channels. I kind of feel bad for picking on these guys. I stumbled across this channel, Mar de Mine, but even his videos are kind of a little bit in that same direction. Gen Z parents need to actually listen to their kids. Gen Z has a serious LARPing problem. Gen Z doesn't see any future for themselves. This has to be the worst fucking timeline ever. So again, he's riding the fence. I don't want to say he's completely LARPing, but you can tell that these guys are picking topics that are specifically catered to the algorithm. It's not because it's something that's affecting their lives personally. They're doing this because they're trying to get the click. They're trying to get the view. He's not as extreme as The Way of Can or Jett Franzen, but it's only a matter of time before audience capture causes them to become more extreme and to grab crazier and crazier titles in order to attract more people that are depressed, that have a doomer mindset. And it doesn't need to be this way. One of my favorite content creators is Cy Speaks. Cy Speaks does exactly what they're doing, except that he does it in a positive light for the most part. He talks about the news. He talks about his perspective on things. He provides solutions, I'm going to say 50 to 60% of the time. And it's one of my guilty pleasures. I watch his videos all the time. You guys can see how many of the videos I've watched because he actually adds value to the conversation. Another person who does this, and I've had beef with this guy, is Seros TV. Seros TV does the same thing that Cy Speaks does. He talks about the news. He talks about politics. He tells his perspective. He spreads a little bit of his ideology, but he provides solutions about 60 to 75% of the time. He doesn't only present the problem and complain and tell you that there's no hope. Another person who does this, Kiara Lawson. And you guys, I could sort this by popularity. You guys can see the titles of the videos are all motivational mindset videos. And it's not doomer. She provides solutions. She provides her perspective, and she gives you guys an avenue to succeed. See, these are videos that are going to leave you thinking about the topic. They're not going to leave you depressed. They're not going to leave you drained. It's authentic. Even though Kiara Lawson also borders on the grift and LARPing because she speaks about a lot of things that she hasn't experienced in real life. Having zero life experience and talking about a topic for me is a bit of a red flag, but I think that she makes enough videos where she does talk about things that she has experience in that I'll give her the pass. Another person who does this perfectly is Martel Metalis. Martel Metalis is going to get you uplifted, hyped up, motivated. He's telling you about his life, what he accomplished, what he did, how he made it, giving you the guideline, the blueprint, what being a personal trainer taught me about women, what getting jacked taught me about women, what my dad taught me about women. Getting jacked will change your life. Getting jacked will give you a celebrity status. How to actually stop fapping forever. You need to become a fucking professional. Your life will be 10 times better. How to stop caring what others think. Stop giving a fuck. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong on the topic. That is not one of the things that's gonna make you a LARPer or a grifter. You can talk about a topic and be dead wrong, but if it's what you truly believe and what you've experienced in your own life, then I say, go at it. And I'm not gonna call you a LARPer or a grifter because it's okay to be wrong. That's your opinion. And this is what it's all about, giving your opinion. Brandon Clark is another one. Brandon Clark, you watch Brandon Clark videos and you're gonna get motivated. And he basically does the same thing as Martel Metalis. He tells you how to get fit. He tells you how to start a business. He tells you how to grow your self-esteem. He tells you how to get to the next level. But then, back to the negative, and I almost forgot this guy. You got people like Heck Speaks. I've interacted with this guy, and I can tell you right now that he's grifting. He's a LARPer. He's telling you a lot of tall tales for engagement, and he just ain't about that life. When I had my little debate, my argument with him, he told me to my face that he did not make dating content. He told me, I don't make dating content. I don't give dating advice. And yet, when you go to his channel, yesterday, ironically, he had a video asking Poor Man's Podcast about modern dating. If you go to all of his videos that are currently up, almost all of them are about dating. This is why women refuse to help men anymore. I hate to admit it, but Gen Z is right about the job market. The reality of being a 28-year-old man who doesn't want kids. Men were lied to about self-improvement. Everything wrong with modern dating. I tried a $1,000 dating coach, so you don't have to. There's a lot of inauthentic content. There's a lot of faking it. And there's a lot of picking topics specifically for the algorithm. Now, you might be asking yourself, Scott, you went over all these people, but what do you talk about on your channel? What makes you different from these guys? In fact, I started a new channel so I could be more authentic on camera. Personal brands are a scam. Now, in this video about personal brands being a scam, I broke down why I believe that and how to not do that, how to not fall into the personal brand scam game, and how to become authentic on this platform. A woman will wreak havoc on you. In this video, I explain how to avoid women that will wreak havoc on you, why you should focus on yourself, how you can grow as a person, how you can become better. I didn't frame it from an incel perspective. We killed creativity and authenticity. In this video, I explain how to become creative, how to become authentic, how to find yourself, how to be real. $200,000 a year salary is still being poor. In this video, even though the title is negative, the actual video explains to you how to level up, how to get to the $200,000 to begin with. Here's why you should love YouTube's new monetization update. I explain why the grifters are mad and why it's good that YouTube is making it harder for people to get monetized. It's good because that way people that are chasing the bag and that's all they care about are gonna be kicked off the platform, and the people that are really here for authentic content will stick around and grow. We don't need the weeds to be here with the wheat. We need to uproot those weeds and throw them out, throw them into the furnace, burn them. And in my new channel, every single video that I've created so far has been a video that solves the problem. Bottom line is, what separates you, what makes you different from a LARPer, a grifter, is when you actually experience what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. You're not following something that you heard somebody else say. You're not just repeating and regurgitating what you heard other people make videos about. You're passionate about the topic. You're not just picking topics that you think the algorithm is going to push for views, for clicks. You're being real. You're being authentic. You're talking your mind versus the person who comes on here and just fakes it because they want a quick view. They want to build their subscriber count. And I challenge any of the people that I mentioned in this video to message me, leave a comment, jump on a Discord call. We can hash it out. But one thing I'm not going to do is sit here silently while you guys LARP. And this goes in both directions. In this video, I'm mainly tackling the people that are doomers, black pill, depression merchants. But it goes in the other direction too. The people that are LARPing as rich, millionaires, successful. I'm coming for you too. I am so glad that TikTok exposed these guys because somebody needed to do it. And I've been saying it for the longest. I've been ringing the bells, blowing the horns, trying to expose these people for who they are. Grifters and doom merchants. Somebody has to expose these rats. And if that has to be me, then I'll do it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that what I said today is wrong, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. And if you're one of the people that I mentioned in this video, then DM me, leave me a comment, jump on a Discord call and defend yourself. I'm out. Peace.